Hello, Carolyn, my love. This is your roast or reading. And for anyone who doesn't know what this is this a roast? Yes. Is this also a reading? Yes. This is a personalized astrology roast. You can book one for yourself at rxtarot.com if you are interested. And the point of this is to give you a sassy little reading. So it's entertaining and it's fun. But I also want to give you some actual advice. So, Carolyn, my love, starting off with your Leo rising. This means your sun is your chart ruler. Oof. So right off the bat, we are taking that Leo rising, someone who is so full of life, so creative, so compassionate towards other people, and wanting to shine enough light on them for them to also shine. We're channeling this through Virgo. Virgo in the second house is very interesting because the second house is about self-worth, and Virgo tends to be a little bit tough on self at times. So, learning how to not beat yourself up for not being perfect is likely something you have definitely struggled with in your lifetime. Just show up and remind yourself that when you are showing up in this energy of loving what you do, you exude healing energy from every angle. So don't get too, I know easier said than done. Don't get too caught up in your mind. Speaking of which, because Virgo is so intensely focused on Mercury, what do we got going on? Okay. Okay. So Mercury in Libra in the third, right next to Saturn and Pluto, also in Libra. The third house is ruled by Mercury. It's your mind. It's how you communicate. For you to have Mercury in Libra, already there's such a desire to make sure everything you say actually benefits somebody else. Everything you say is actually helpful and genuinely something that other people could use. You already have a lot of pressure there, but to add Saturn, which is structure, restrictions, boundaries, and Pluto, unearthing and taking things up in order to make things better, that's intense. Okay? I'm not gonna lie to you, that's intense. And the reason is, this is all on your mind constantly. How can you help other people? How can you better other people? How can you do things? How can you say something that is so impactful it changes their life? The issue with this mindset, which I'm sure you have slipped into a few times, is you end up missing the magic. So try not to get stuck in that. Easier said than done, I know. But learning to enjoy yourself and reminding yourself that conversating with others, just showing up for others is enough and will change their life. When you don't put so much pressure on yourself, you have the ability to actually show up and actually make a difference. Now, moving on to your Mars, she is hanging out in the fourth. Let me go back, actually. Yeah, wait, I forgot about your Venus in the first. So the fact that you have your Leo Venus in the first, you are somebody who genuinely just wants to give and give and give. 29 degrees, Leo. You just want to keep giving. You want to give and you want to make sure everybody has enough and there's plenty to go around. But do you give to yourself? Because if you don't, you have nothing to give others. And I think you already know this, but I just feel like I have to say it in this video. Giving to yourself first is how you will have enough to give to everyone. You will have plenty to give to others. Now, coming to your fourth house, it's very interesting to have that Mars in Scorpio in the fourth. When you take action, it's always for the depth of it. You want to go after helping people. And the reason I keep saying helping people is where these placements are, right? With your Mars in the fourth, it's about family, it's about roots, it's about connecting to who you really are. What drives you, your Mars, your motivation, is depth of understanding, depth of connection, depth. So I can absolutely see you being a root worker, a shadow worker. I see you being somebody who really wants to dig down to the deep aspects of why people may be struggling with things and like get in the mud with them and help them get back out. I see that very clearly in your chart. I also see, with Jupiter and Uranus here, there's so much expansion. There's so many sudden changes that have likely happened throughout your life that may have set you on a path of sort of scaring you and making you fearful of like, am I safe? Do we have enough? But it always led to something more, and it always will lead to something more. You are meant to go through life, death, rebirths all of the time, especially being the fact that you have your Scorpio IC, the Leo rising, the Scorpio IC. You are meant to go down the path of trusting the Phoenix moments. You are meant to trust that everything falls apart before it comes together, and learning to see that for a good thing and not feel so scared by it, not feel so bad about it, not feel like there's something wrong with you. Show up for yourself when you don't feel like you're good enough. You're gonna see this power surge. What did I do? Sun, where is your moon? Also, your moon is literally opposing all of this. So with your moon in Taurus, which one, love that placement. That's really a genuinely beautiful placement. She is sneakily still in the 9th house. And I love that. I love that so much. She's like, actually, I'm going to stay in the 9th, which means deep intuition. You really do know exactly what other people are feeling. You may literally be clairsentient. Wait, no. Yeah. Yes, clairsentient. I was trying to remember which one was which for a second. You know what people are feeling. You can feel their feelings. And the reason this is true is the 9th house is all about your higher connection. It's all about your higher purpose. It's all about your spiritual gifts. And for you to have your moon there, when you are grounded, when you are connected, when you have meditated and are feeling good, you're on it. When you have not, all of your past fears are going to be present on the table. Hey, here's the trickiest part about having not only your moon in the same sign as Chiron, but also the fact that you have this in Taurus. Having your moon and Chiron in the same place is tricky because there's such an intensity there. There's so much wounding in your emotions and needing to learn how to feel your feelings. I'm sure there was a time period in your life where you were not allowed to feel, where it was annoying for you to be so emotional and so sensitive. But learning to be okay with that now is literally the best of you. Your midheaven and your moon almost at exactly the same degree. The best of you is showing up to your emotions, feeling good about your inner world. And showing up to this Chiron is about trusting that nothing is permanent. Chiron and Taurus is tricky because there is this wound of loss. There's a fear of not being able to hold on to things. There's a fear of losing what you've built. And for that to be in the 10th house, that can be really triggering when it comes to career, when it comes to your job, when it comes to financial stability. But the truth of it is, anything that falls away is leading you closer and closer and closer to who you're actually supposed to be. So I know it can be scary sometimes to let go of things and let it fall, but you are somebody that has to trust those tower moments. Okay. Most of us, all of us do, but like, especially for you, the scarier they feel and the more specific, the more I want you to go, oh, okay, this is what Riley was talking about. I'm just going to breathe through it. And I know you already know these things, but I just want to remind you, Chiron is a very tricky little beast, and learning to show up to it, learning to accept that nothing is permanent is exactly how you're going to see the work you do as the permanent thing. Your ability to heal others, your ability to work with others, and the skills that you personally have, it doesn't matter where you're doing them, that will never change. And once you realize what is stable and what is secure versus what is possibly changing, like social media platforms, or, if you work for somebody else versus working for yourself or whatever it is. Once you realize all of those things can change, but the skills that you have will not, you're going to feel better. Side note, North Node in Cancer. Every single person I have ever met with a North Node in Cancer has this aura of just being the most loving, gentle person I have ever seen in my life, especially with it being the 11th house. Social media tip, I think you should do nurturing content. I feel like I've seen you already do this a little bit, but checking in on people, letting them know like, hey, it's going to be okay. Maybe even like baking and cooking and like sharing how you make yourself feel better. Connecting to your moon is going to be such an important thing about showing up to the best version of yourself. So learning to trust that and learning to let go of this feeling of needing to work really hard and be doing something that is actually meaningful, that is probably the biggest thing you need to let go of. Because South Node in Capricorn, there's this idea of working really hard. But North Node in Cancer is about trusting that when you're in alignment, it all comes together. South Node in Capricorn is, I know if I work really hard, I can get to where I want to go. But you can only make it so far if it's not energetically aligned. All in all, I really do love your chart. I think it makes a lot of sense because I do know what you do. You are meant to shine. You are meant to be somebody who feels into your feelings, is a very sensitive person, and shares with others how you move through it. So don't be afraid of being that version of yourself fully. Don't be afraid to really allow yourself to lean into this. Allow yourself to feel as much joy and excitement about what you do as you can, and you'll naturally already know the steps to take. You'll already know what you need to do when you learn to trust yourself a little bit. Thank you so much, Carolyn. I hope you enjoy this reading. And for anyone else interested, you can book a personal roaster reading at rxtarot.com. Thank you. Bye.